New Thought Media Network and the Universal Joy Center are proud to bring you The Joy Show. One voice, one story, infinite inspiration. Join your host, Barbara Jean, every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time or 1 p.m. Mountain Time. Tune in live or watch anytime on youtube.com/@UJOYC. The Joy Show with Barbara Jean. The perfect way to get inspired on Friday afternoons. Only on New Thought Media Network. And please like, share, and subscribe. And now, let's join Barbara Jean on The Joy Show.
Good afternoon or good evening or wherever you are in the world. Welcome to The Joy Show. Joy, just one you. That's the whole premise. There's just one you. And so today I'm so delighted to have a remarkable guest with me. But to begin, let's start with our land acknowledgement. I like to begin this way just to acknowledge what I believe to be true. So the land on which the Universal Joy Center operates and the land on which the New Thought Media Network operates, for thousands of years, it has been the traditional land of many Indigenous peoples. We honor the enduring presence, wisdom, and stewardship of these people, of the Indigenous people, past, present, and emerging. And as we gather online, we also honor the many Indigenous nations and territories across Turtle Island, from which members of our community may be joining us today. Today, this meeting place remains home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, and we are grateful for the opportunity to work, live, and play on this land. We are one, Miigwech. Well, today my guest is Tessa. Now, Tessa lives in Clinton, Ontario with her husband and 2 cats, and there's a baby on the way. Like, that's very exciting, right? So in the warm months, she absolutely loves to spend as much time outside as possible, reading books, gardening, and going to the beach. Tessa is a bookkeeper for many clients, and she's the treasurer on 2 separate boards. So welcome, Tessa.
Hello.
Hi. So
Hi.
glad you could join me today. This is beautiful.
I'm glad to be here. And my cat has heard your voice and has come to say hi already too.
I'll tell you, she is so sweet. She's always right there wanting to join the party.
Yeah, she hasn't been here all day, not until you started talking. So
I have that effect on animals.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just wanted to start by basically introducing a little bit of the show. Now, you have had a remarkable journey. You're fairly new to the Universal Joy Center and this whole New Thought idea becoming part of your existence. And I'd just like to hear a little bit about your experience of, finding this, what the circumstances were, whatever you feel comfortable sharing.
Okay, so I think I have to start probably about 5 years ago, which is when my fertility journey started.
Okay.
And so I got married in 2020 and started trying to have a baby right away, and nothing was happening for a while. So, of course, I got really down, thought something was wrong with me. I put a lot of blame on myself, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so then finally in 2023, I started seeing a fertility place, and I did end up getting pregnant. And then I had a miscarriage. And so that was really hard for me. I thought my only obstacle was getting pregnant. I didn't know staying pregnant was going to be my next problem.
Right.
So it really was just heartbreaking. It really caught me off guard. And I actually it's hard to even remember the way my mind was before that happened, because it had such an impact on me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it happened, and I thought, okay, I can move on, try again. It was just a one-time thing. There's no way it could happen again. So then
Right.
a few months later, once, the doctor said everything was fine, I got pregnant again. And then I ended up having a second miscarriage. And so that was happened right on Christmas Day. It was,
Oh,
yeah, it was really, really just, because I had gotten past the point of when the first one happened. So I thought, okay, I'm in the clear now, everything's fine. And then I just knew, I woke up in the morning and I just knew something was
oh,
so wrong. So that really, that hurt a lot, but it was, and then I really didn't know what to do. Like, I thought, obviously something's wrong with me. I had put so much blame on myself for it. I thought, oh, it's because when I was younger, I, was a bit of a wild child and, did a lot of partying and stuff. And so I completely thought, okay, it's all my fault. Like, I've done this to myself.
yeah.
And I'm sure there's so many people that feel like that. But so then I wasn't sure, I was kind of like a little bit scared to try again. I didn't want to go through something like that another time.
Yeah.
And so the doctors did some testing, didn't find any problems. And a few months later, maybe in the spring of the next year, so it would have been 2024, I thought, okay, maybe I can do this again. I'll call the doctor again. And, they were doing monitoring and stuff like that. That's how I had gotten pregnant the 2 times.
Yeah.
So, I kind of built up my confidence and thought, okay, I'm going to call. And then they actually ended up calling me and saying, we just got a call and we have IVF funding for you from the Ontario, from OHIP.
Oh,
And so,
nice.
yeah. So, like, my doctor had put me on a list. I think it was like a 2-year list or something, right when I had first called him. And he said, even if you might not want to do it, I'm going to put you on this list anyways. So I thought, okay, whatever. So then they called in the spring and said, like, it's my time. And so then I'm like shocked, like, I don't want to do IVF. Like, that wasn't something I was planning to really do, even like if I had to pay for it, whatever. Like, it wasn't really something that I thought was for me. And, they had kind of mentioned at one time, like, IVF gets you pregnant. It doesn't keep you pregnant. So it's not for you. But for some reason, it seems like once that call came in, like, their whole story changed and it was for me. So, so it was really like an internal battle, I feel like, deciding whether I was going to do it or not. I don't know what it was. It didn't feel right for me, but it also felt like, how could I not take this opportunity? So many people wish they had this opportunity.
Yeah.
So it was just a really major conflict in me. I talked to other people that had done it and they're like, yeah, it's fine. Like, it's no big deal. It was it seemed very, like, all the medicine and stuff, I try not to take medication, whenever I can get away with not taking medication. So it just seemed so against me. So yeah, I just really felt this inner battle, but in the end I decided, okay, I'm gonna do it. I didn't want to say no and then years later wonder what would have happened if I did it, because that's so hard to live with something like that. I think, like, wondering. Yeah. So that's what made me decide, okay, I'm going to do it. And so it was the fall of 2024. I did the medication and the egg retrieval. Like, everything went fine. I usually don't have side effects to anything. So I was lucky that way. And then in December of 2024, I got pregnant again through, like, an IVF embryo transfer. And then very soon after, like the very beginning of January, I had my 3rd miscarriage.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow, that's enough to throw you under the bus a little bit. And I don't think a lot of people understand the trauma of miscarriage.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, yeah, I've heard people say, well, you know, you didn't have a baby and now you don't have a baby, so what's the big deal?
Mhm.
You know, try again kind of thing. But, you know, 3 miscarriages, that's pretty darn traumatic. 1 miscarriage is very traumatic.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping from this show, people who watch that maybe don't understand what a person goes through when they lose that pregnancy, that it has a massive impact emotionally, psychologically, and physically as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think that's true. Like before it ever happened to me, I feel like I was one of those people. I thought, well, you know, you weren't that far along, or, you know, there was always something I felt in my head that, you know, they didn't need to feel so much pain or something like that. But once
Yeah.
I experienced it, that totally changed. And it didn't really matter how much further I was in each one,
Yeah.
they all hurt just as much.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
by
what
the
people don't think about is the hopes and dreams.
mhm,
Like as a woman, when you get pregnant, it's like you've imagined that child into adulthood. Like
mhm.
there's something about it that it isn't like the minute it happens, it's a part of us. Um, wow. So January, you had your 3rd miscarriage, January
Yes.
25.
Yep. So after that, I pretty much just thought, okay, I'm giving up. Like I still have embryos frozen, but I just thought I cannot go through this again. I kind of thought, well, eventually I'll probably just, you know, go end up using all my embryos, but I had zero hope in my head that it was ever going to work out.
Yeah.
I just kind of thought, like, I can't, you know, throw these embryos away now, so I'm going to have to use them. But I had zero confidence in ever really having a baby.
Right.
I had pretty much just given up. I didn't really deal with it much after the 3rd one. I just threw myself into work. I didn't really feel my feelings.
Right.
I just tried to kind of put it out of my head. And then once my work slowed down a little bit by spring, it just really hit me. Like they all hit me, it seemed like at once. And I just got really, really down. And it was just really hard to see any kind of light at the end. Like it was just hard to see any positivity in the day at all. Like it was, you know, I would do things, I'd see my friends. I just feel like I was so numb at
Yeah.
that point. So, and that's actually kind of how I ended up finding and becoming involved with Universal Joy Center. So I had been, I guess, doing your bookkeeping for probably a year by then, but you know, I didn't talk much to you. Like it was just quick little, you know, exchanges.
Yeah.
And then, so in the spring of last year, when I was so down, I didn't, you know, I'd wake up in the morning and it was like, oh, another day. Like
Yeah.
it just seemed like everything was just so hard. So in the mornings, I started watching your videos actually on YouTube.
Okay.
And just because I'd wake up in the morning and like I didn't even want to get out of bed really, but I knew I had to. So I just thought, okay, give myself an hour, however long the videos were.
Yeah.
So I would do that. I would put that on and I would listen to them. And, you know, it was a little uplifting, like it was positive, but it's still, to me, it seemed like it was like far away from me. Like it was,
Yeah.
other people
Yeah.
had this positivity, but I didn't.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I felt for a while about quite a few things, like in this teaching, is that other people could have it, but I couldn't for some reason, because I had been around, you know, other teachings along this line for quite a while, and it just seemed like, I don't know what it was, if I thought I wasn't good enough or I just thought I couldn't get control of my mind enough to be able to manifest anything or anything like that. I just felt like it was out there. It was not me.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I believed in it.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of people who think that way, that, when they look at the teaching, it's, hard to really embrace something that seems so unrealistic. Should I say that? Because I think we look at the world outside and we go, that's the real world. That's what's really going on. But the truth is, everything begins inside as an idea or a thought, and we all have those. So, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I did believe like my mind was powerful, but I just thought it was powerful for negative things. Like I didn't think, I didn't think I could ever control my mind or like get a hold of it. I just figured, okay, if it's thinking something negative, then that's what's going to happen because I can't stop it. So when I was watching the videos, they definitely, like, I understood, but it still seems like a very far away thing. And actually, so one day, I just remember this so vividly, like it just gave me the chills, but I was watching the video and I had come up to my office to work and I was still watching a video, and I'm a bookkeeper, so I was entering bills for one of my clients, and on his bill, the coding for this manufacturing item was Rev B. And I was like, I just like totally got chills. Like it just felt like, okay, I'm doing the right thing. Like the world is telling me I am, going in the right direction here. And I actually took a picture of it. Like it was so just like, oh, like I love when stuff like that happens.
Well, that's interesting. And what some of the viewers may not know is Rev B is what a lot of people call me. And so, isn't that fascinating? All right.
So I just, I was still in such a like down, depressed time, but I just like, there was some significance in it. And I was just like, oh, I'm moving in the right direction. I didn't know what it meant or anything like that, but I just felt like, okay, I'm in the right spot. And actually that reminds me, about like a month after that, I had another kind of weird thing happen. And I was at my cousin's and someone ordered pizzas and it came with free pop and the Coke bottle said Tessa on it. And like my name has never been on anything. I don't have a common name. Like anytime growing up, if you were at like a store or a vacation or something with the magnets or the keychains, I never got anything with my name on it. So that was like another thing when that happened. I was just like, okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be in my life. That's kind of what I took it as. Like, I do believe in signs and stuff like that and things lining up. So yeah, that was another little thing. So I guess it was soon after that you had asked me to be on the board as well. And so I said yes right away because I was like, this feels right. Something is saying yes. So that made me really like quickly say yes without really even having to think about it.
Yeah.
And so then I guess it was in the summer that I found out that you were hosting the Nesting Place group.
Yes, the Nesting Place.
Yes, which is a group for people who have experienced miscarriages or infant loss in any way. And so I found that out, and it was like, it just seemed like another thing clicked. Like, okay, this is, I felt like it was made for me, honestly. So then I joined that, and I remember the first day and it was just you and I that day actually, and we talked and I, told you my whole story, and I don't know what you said to me that day, but I actually remember going downstairs after and thinking, I'm going to have a baby. Like, why would I not, like, why would I not be able to? And so that was just like, the first bit of hope I had for so long, and not just for having a baby, like just in life. It just felt like I just remember feeling such a relief that it wasn't over.
Yeah.
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 So I have no idea what it was you said though, or like how you said it, how it made me feel. I just remember like it was like I was walking on a cloud when I went downstairs, and I was just like,
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that.
yeah,
When I
yeah.
started the group, it's interesting because I didn't know about your miscarriages.
Hmm.
Even though we had worked together, we had not really got to know each other personally,
Hmm.
other than, hey, how you doing? And, oh, here's my visa bill and,
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
But I think I was talking to Cheryl about the nesting place, and she said, oh, Tessa had a miscarriage. And I was like, oh, so that's when I phoned you to tell you about the nesting place,
Hmm.
because I thought, well, maybe you'd like to come to that.
Hmm.
The nesting place is a group of people together, sharing their stories, but we've also done some other interesting things. I did a memorial service at one of our meetings. We meet one time per month. That may grow in time, but right now, one time a month is perfect. And at that meeting, we just talk, we just share our own personal journey of loss, and then how we're dealing with it today. So yeah, it's a powerful group. We're a small group, but we're a mighty group. So anybody
Hmm.
interested, please reach out and feel like you can definitely join. It's a very safe and sacred place. Awesome. So continuing with your story.
Yeah. So then a couple months later, you announced that all the board members needed to take a Foundations of Science of Mind course. And
Yes.
so, I feel like normally if someone told me I needed to do something, I would be like, no, it's not going to work. But I definitely was just like, yes, okay, this sounds great. It's funny how people do that though. When someone's telling you you have to do something, it's like you think of all the reasons why no, I'm not going to do that.
Hey,
But
my dog does that.
yeah. But for like I didn't, I just was like, yeah, okay, I can make it work. I'll fit it into my schedule. And so that really just started something completely new in me. So I think we started it maybe in September of last year.
Yeah, September or
And
October, yeah.
yeah, and just learning about the teaching and just doing the homework and everything just totally shifted something in me and made me realize I have control of my life.
Yes.
It's not everyone else that has control of my life. I have control of my life, and I have the power to decide what I want. So
Exactly.
yeah, and it was definitely the meditation homework that made a huge change. Like that is what took me from having no idea how to control the craziness happening in my mind to actually being able to quiet my mind
Yeah.
and just, it just gave me just it was such a relieving feeling to learn
Meditation
that.
is incredibly powerful. And
Mhm.
most of us resist it because we think we can't do it.
Mhm.
Well, I can't make my mind quiet. Well, in meditation, that's not the goal, actually. The goal is to be present, and you learn to train your mind just like you would train a little child. You let a little kid loose in a candy store, look
Mhm.
out, there's going to be
Mhm.
problems. And that's kind of how our mind is. If we just let it run rampant, it's going to do all kinds of silly things.
Mhm.
But the minute we start meditating, we start to notice where our mind is going, and then we can bring it back to whatever our focus is in that meditation, and we can begin to train it to respond to us rather than taking us on a hayride.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Awesome.
the advice you had given me to set a timer doing it, that just changed so much. And I used to try to do it with, a YouTube video or something on, and it wasn't doing anything for me. So like the silence and the timer just really, and I would start, sometimes it was only 5 minutes, and then I'd try to add a minute each day till I could get longer and longer. And it just, that really changed so much in me. For sure.
Yeah, that was the thing that helped me as well, because I was resistant to meditation for many years. My teacher kept saying, you need to meditate, you need to meditate. And I'm going, don't have time. And then one day I thought, I need to do this. My life is out of control. So when I started doing it, I would set a timer because 30 seconds in, I was pretty sure I'd already done 20 minutes. That's how it felt. And my mind was just here, there, and everywhere. I couldn't control it. And so I set a timer, but I did set something on my phone that was really mild, like a little tinkle kind of sound rather than something blaring. Because I didn't want to come out of meditation to a shocking, keep it. But it really does make a huge difference in life overall.
Yeah.
Wow. Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the spiritual mind treatments too. So that was our homework too, to write those, I think probably every week or something like that. And so, I remember at first you said, do a spiritual mind treatment for something small. Like you had told a story about someone that did one for a coffee and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do something small. So I'm like, okay, I want someone to bring me a cookie. But then I do this, and then I'm like, I don't want a cookie. I don't eat cookies. If someone brings me cookies, I don't ever eat them. I give them to my husband. So I'm like, why am I think I was scared to, do a treatment for anything like big.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if I deserved it. I'm not sure what it was, but I actually remember one day being like, why am I so scared? Like, what am I, am I scared it's not going to work? And that's why I don't even want to try it, or what, I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But finally I did start doing treatments, I'm like, okay, let's actually start doing this. So in November, I started writing treatments, and I was writing, my hormones are perfectly balanced, which the doctors told me they definitely weren't. So I was writing, my hormones are perfectly balanced. I'm the perfect weight to support a pregnancy. My doctors are going to be shocked by my miracle. So I was writing these, and I kept writing it. Like I was kind of thinking like, okay, let's just fake it till you make it, and just keep, writing different ones. And so it was some kind of variation of that, but I was trying not to be too specific, because that's what we learned. Even though, in my mind, I didn't want to have to do IVF again. I wanted to get pregnant naturally, but, it had been at that point 5 years pretty much of me trying to get pregnant and having the miscarriages. So I wasn't, being too specific. I was thinking, okay, I'm going to end up doing an IVF transfer in a couple months, and everything's going to be perfect and it's going to work. That's kind of what I was going for. Yeah. So I'm writing these, and then in December, one day I'm like, I just felt something, and I thought, I must be pregnant. And so I go and I take a test, and it's negative, and I'm like, oh, I'm not. Okay. But then it was like, okay, are these treatments working, or, but I was like, okay, I'm going to keep writing them. So I did. I continued writing them. It was just like, okay, that's not the way it's going to happen. It's going to happen, the IVF way. So, so I kept writing them. And then the next week, my period didn't come. So I'm like, I got to take a test again. And so I did, and it was positive. And I was just so shocked. Like I actually stood in my bathroom going, what the F? What the F? Like, I was so shocked at that point, especially because the week before, I had taken a test when I thought maybe I was. So
Yeah, it was just too soon.
yeah, it was just shocking though. And like I actually thought, "Ugh, this is something's wrong with this test." So then I took another one a couple hours later. And then after that one was positive, I thought I must be taking something like a vitamin that's causing this. I actually wouldn't believe it. And so like it had never happened naturally before, completely naturally, like without any kind of medical intervention or anything. So
Yeah.
it was just like, wow, I couldn't believe it. And so then of course the worry started.
Of course.
Yeah, but it came, but I feel like it wasn't the same as previous times, like the worry. Like I just felt a bit more of a calmness, but I was still worried. Like it just, I don't know if you can ever get away from something like that after it's happened like that many times.
Mm-hmm.
But so then I started writing treatments that the baby was healthy. And just really, meditating, like when I was feeling like if I woke up one day with fear that something was going to go wrong, I just made myself meditate. And I actually, like, I would feel completely better at the end of meditation.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful. Well, we're going to take a short little commercial break, and then we're going to come back and check in on that great progress that you've been making. You're watching The Joy Show here on the New Thought Media Network, and we're going to be right back. So don't go away. More good stuff coming.
Please help us say thank you to all of our organizational sponsors, including the Hefferland Foundation, Affiliated New Thought Network, International New Thought Alliance, Science of Mind Archives and Library Foundation, Center for Spiritual Living Denver, Center for Spiritual Living Midtown, New Thought Philadelphia, Center for Spiritual Living United Life, Sunshine Cathedral, Planned Happiness Institute, Summit Center for Spiritual Living, One Heart Retreats, Universal Joy Center, Unity Kitchener, Unity Spiritual Center Ottawa, Home Center for Spiritual Living, Satya Center, Begin Within Ministries, Center for Spiritual Living North Jersey, Unity of Savannah, and the Center for Spiritual Living Seattle, as well as all of our individual donors. On behalf of New Thought Media Network, thank you, and please like, share, and subscribe. New Thought Media Network, come be you.
And we're back here with The Joy Show and my wonderful guest, Tessa, talking about her experience of working toward motherhood. So we had last talked about the fact that you got pregnant, you did it completely naturally without any medical intervention. Shocking, but exciting.
Spiritual intervention.
Spiritual intervention, there you go. Good. So how are you feeling now? Like, where are you at in your journey, and how are you feeling overall?
So I'm feeling good. I'm 17 weeks pregnant. I've had no problems at all. Like, it's a perfect pregnancy. I'm at like one of the lowest risks. Like I live in a small town, so I don't have very many like options. So the hospital in my area is a low risk hospital, and like they send you to another one if you're higher risk, and they've said, no, you're low risk, everything's good. And I'm like, what? I feel like I can't even believe it. So yeah, everything's been going really smooth and really good. And I've been able to kind of get rid of the anxiety that I, kind of expected I would be feeling being pregnant again. So yeah, it's been really good.
Excellent. Well, I love to hear that. I love to hear that. Well, it's interesting that you're talking about belief, because belief is one of the foundations of creating great things in our lives. Whatever we believe is what we create. And most of us tend to believe limiting things and fearful things and negative things. And so I want to ask you to reframe that phrase. I can't believe it. I couldn't believe it. It's so now to go, I believe it. It's good enough to be true. Can you say that? I believe it. It's good enough to be true.
I believe it. It's good enough to be true.
Yes, yes. There we go. Yeah, we want to really pay attention to language. I mean, you're on your way. You're fine. You're good. And I knew that. I had that feeling. I might have said it to you in November or December that I didn't think you needed to do IVF.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we talked about that at one of the nesting place groups, that no, I don't think you need to do that. And ta-da!
Yeah.
So good for you to take on these treatments and to begin to really begin to shift how you look at this, how you feel about it. How's your husband doing with all of this?
He's doing good, and he's really thankful that I've been doing classes with you. He, it's not his thing, but he will say often, like, if I'm like, oh, I got to go to my class now, he's like, I'm really glad that you're doing that. I'm glad that you found that. Yeah. So it's nice that like he is noticing that change too, and probably the calmness that comes from it. So yeah, it's nice that he at least notices it, even though he won't join it.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. I mean, it's not for everybody.
Yeah.
And it seems like more women are attracted to our teaching than men. I think naturally women tend to sort of drift into that spiritual a little easier than the average man does. But I do know a lot of men who are really getting into it. In fact, our producer today, JJ, has been really getting into the teaching, as well as he's been doing doing my shows and everything. He's starting to go, oh, I kind of like this. So it works really well. It works really well. So now this summer might be a little bit interesting. When is your baby due?
In August.
Well, you may not spend as much time outside this summer as you have in the past, because being pregnant in great heat, not necessarily the funnest experience.
Yeah.
But who knows? I mean, you might do great.
Yeah.
So you might add that to your treatments, that, weather doesn't bother you, everything's moving along well, you enjoy the sunshine, and, so you can keep doing. You doing lots of walking?
I am. I will be doing more once it gets nicer. It has been so snowy and cold this winter. It's been, so I've been inside quite a bit, but I definitely will be.
Good. Yeah, walking is one of the things that's really, really good for making sure the muscles are all good for the delivery. Because delivery takes some muscles.
Yes.
It's a bit like pushing out a watermelon. So
yeah,
that's hard to imagine, but the feeling will be very similar to the feeling you had with miscarriage.
Yeah.
That part is about the same. At least in my case, it was the same.
Yeah.
When I had a miscarriage, it felt very much like labor pains. Short, not as long as some of my labors, but definitely there. And labor, that's well named, actually. When you think about the meaning of words, and that one's pretty well named. So moving forward, how many children would you like to have?
I think this is kind of what my plan was, that I kind of had in my head when I first started trying to have kids 5 years ago, that I wanted to have at least one kid, and then I wanted to do foster care, like short-term foster care. I knew someone growing up, one of my friends, his mom she had, a few kids, and then there'd be foster kids kind of in and out, sometimes babies, sometimes older ones, but it was just so like, I thought, wow, like, and she was so busy herself. It's not like she was just a stay-at-home mom with all this extra free time. Like, she just was, I couldn't believe how much she was just giving by doing that. And I thought, oh, that would be really a nice thing to do.
It
and
is
especially short term, I think, because there's, all kinds of people want to adopt and, do long-term stuff, but it's like, it's the short term. Like, sometimes they just need a day or a week or a month or whatever. And and the older ones, I feel like they are lacking in those areas. So I just think that would be really, really nice to do. So I would like to have more than one kid, but will it be my own or will it be a foster kid? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's great, actually, to have that kind of plan. You sort of know where you want to go next and what that would look like. And I'll tell you, looking after a child that doesn't have a family, that is an incredible thing to do. That's powerful. Good for you.
Mm-hmm. I just knew, though, I couldn't do it if I did not have my own kid first. Like, it would just be like so hard. Like, not that it won't be heartbreaking for them to leave, but like, I just feel like I could deal with it more knowing I still have my own child there.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. I remember one of my sister-in-laws fostered a lot of children through her life and adopted some, and like you, she'd had numerous miscarriages, and then she had a stillbirth on Christmas Eve, which was kind of really, really hard. But I think watching what she did, the only challenge she had is if she got a baby in the middle of the night, which sometimes happened. And then, she'd have the baby for a few months, and then all of a sudden the mom would, say, "Oh, I'm clean now," and stop taking drugs. And they would put the child back in the home. And then 3 months later, the child would be back with her. And she had one child like that was kind of back and forth. And it was making her really, really sad, like, to watch what was going on and to wonder why this birth mom was being given so many opportunities when in fact, truthfully speaking, she wasn't the right person for this child. But what do you do? It's like they always want to try and keep families together if they can, but sometimes it's not in the best interest of the child.
Yeah, exactly. And it, maybe they should wait a year or, a longer time frame than just a few months. Oh, okay, she's better now. I feel like it takes a lot longer than that to get better. So
it does. And addiction isn't something that just goes away. If you're addicted to, crack, or you're addicted to alcohol, or you're addicted to anything for that matter, it's like getting rid of that is really a hard thing, and it takes considerable effort. Now, I know people who've done it. I know people who have, got clean and stayed clean, and they've done it for many, many years, and that is fantastic, because it'd be nice if more people were able to have that success. But it takes real resilience and courage and everything else. Well, that's awesome. And your husband is good with the idea of fostering?
I think it's, scares him a little bit. Because you don't know what is coming or going or anything, but
you have no idea.
But he's not against it. It scares him a bit.
Yeah. Well, and that makes sense, because you don't necessarily know all the trauma the child's been through. Sometimes you do get a good picture of it, which can then make it even scarier. But I think it's just remembering the only thing that child needs is love. And they may not be willing to accept love, but it needs to be consistent.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I just think, if you even make just the littlest difference in that kid's life, like, that just I don't know, to me, that just means a lot.
It really does. I remember a teacher I had in grade 10, and at that time I was a mess. I was I was a total mess, actually. I was rebellious. I was angry with my family. My parents had divorced when I was 11, and I thought that was the most humiliating thing they could have done to me. Which is kind of interesting. But when you're 11, 12, 13, 14, you are the center of the universe, and everybody else is just periphery. But it was interesting to be in this place where I contemplated suicide a lot. I was trying different drugs. I was doing all kinds of bad stuff. And this teacher, she was amazing. And for the first time in my life, I felt like somebody appreciated me for me. And I was dumbstruck by that. And so she was a very key person in me changing my life completely. It took me a few years. And her and I became very dear friends later. When I got out of school and, was moving along. In fact, when I started attending a CSL center, that's when I noticed she was attending the same center. And so we got together and we just clicked. We were best friends for years until she passed away. So it was like, and she was very young. Like she, I think when she was teaching me in grade 10, she was only, I don't know, 22, 23.
Yeah.
She was really, really young. And so we were friends right up until 2002, which is when she passed away at age 52. So, but it's having someone in your life that believes in you, no matter what you do.
Yeah.
They're going to, look at the behavior as a separate thing from you. You are worthy of love. And, you mentioned a couple things about not sure if you deserved it or, did you do something bad? And because you did something bad, that's why you had a miscarriage. That's not it at all. That's not it at all. It's really finding the way to sort of honor your existence and to realize these things happen and there's no good reason for it, no good excuse for it, whatever. It happened, it's painful, but from it you've grown into quite a different woman than you probably were 5 years ago. Yeah, how exciting is that?
Yeah. It's actually crazy to think of, just how much my outlook on life has changed, just everything, like from the miscarriages, which were just like traumatic, and then coming out like this and finding the Science of Mind teaching, and just I feel like I will never leave it. Definitely. Like since that first class, now I'm taking my third class since then, I think. Yeah. 1, 2, two, and then I just started one more. So I'm loving
I think
it.
this is number 4.
Yeah. Oh,
we did foundations twice.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
The curriculum and the new curriculum. Yeah. And what happened, I mean, that's what happened for me is that, I found this teaching and when I did, it was life-changing.
Yeah.
It rewrote the script for me. And all of a sudden I felt like maybe I do have some value and worth, which then changes everything as you go forward in life. It sort of turns it around so you can start to see yourself in a different way and start to acknowledge your gifts and talents that are necessary for you to give into the world, which you will do with this beautiful child. And I'm
actually excited about that. Like I was just looking, just was on Amazon. Like, I wonder if they make like affirmations for children and babies, and they have all these affirmation things. Like, I'm like, I can't wait to show a child this, so early, and just like let them know that they are worth everything. So my
youngest was raised in it from start to finish.
Oh, that's so nice.
she'll be 21 this weekend. And, you know, you can really, really tell by her confidence, her fierce way of being. She's just a very strong individual within herself. And that is really remarkable. I was going to ask you something, and I think it just hopped out of my head. Yay. That's funny. It's just there and then it's gone.
Yep, that happens.
You get to an age where it happens a lot. Information just slides right through. I think the important, you know, things to remember is that we're on a journey, and the journey is life, and it doesn't have a destination. It's all about having these experiences that then actually will cause us to change direction or to maintain our path or whatever, but it really helps us. And then when we're dealing with our children, we have a lot more patience, a lot more compassion for them than we may have had otherwise. And that is really powerful as well, because we want them to get this teaching. One of the things we did with Genevieve that you might consider, and it was surprisingly easy, was we taught her sign language from 8 months old. And you can actually start even sooner than that, probably, I don't know, about 6 months old maybe. And what it did for her, and, you know, for us as a result, was that she could always ask for what she needed. So people will talk about the terrible twos. There's no such thing as terrible twos. There is 2-year-olds that are frustrated because they can't communicate what they want or need. That's what terrible twos is, in my estimation, having raised 4 children. So I look at, you know, the things I did with my first 3 and then what I did with the last one. And it's so different. Like teaching her sign language actually, I think, reduced a lot of frustration on her part, and therefore on ours as well, because she could say, here's what I want, here's what I need, this hurts, that hurt. Like she was able to communicate with us. And it's super simple. Like, and they have little flashcards and stuff. So you teach her, like, eat is this and milk is this. And, you know, it's like, you know, please and thank you. And, you know, just, I love you. You know, it's like all of these different little things that we were able to really help her through those months. And ultimately, it helped us as well, that we could communicate. She could communicate with us what she wanted. And that made a really, really big difference. So how exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, and you haven't picked out names yet, and you're not going to find out the sex of the baby.
No.
Good for you. Be sure to get a video of one of your later sonograms, so you have that for later, because it's pretty precious.
Yeah.
We have Genevieve's, and the woman who did my ultrasound that day, she was great, because she put on the video hi and then bye. And she almost told us the sex of the baby. And she started to, and then she went, did you want to know? And then we went, no. And she went, oh, okay.
Oh, so you didn't find out either?
No, we didn't. We didn't want to know. Like somebody had said to Pierre once, there are few things in life that really can surprise us. And having a baby should be that.
Yeah.
You know, it should be that. Yeah, you go get the car seat, and yeah, you get the crib, and, you know, you get those things that don't necessarily have to be specific for your child. But mind you, these days, the idea of blue and pink are kind of out the door, and people are doing whatever they feel like doing. So I
people
think
are
that
pretty shocked, like, that I'm not going to find out. It's like everyone's like, you have to find out, and I'm like,
no,
Why would
you
I have to
don't.
find out? Like, I don't need to,
Yeah.
if I want a cute outfit, I can buy a boy outfit and a girl outfit. You know what I mean? Like, if that's,
Yeah.
that doesn't bother me though. Like, that
No.
isn't a priority to me. I just think that will be so exciting. So,
Oh, so exciting to be able to sit back and then, choosing names. Pierre and I chose names
mhm.
prior to, but what we did was we picked boys and girl names. You know, we did both because we didn't know. And, we picked Luc for a boy and
Yeah.
Geneviève for a girl. And, we had our girl. So it was perfect. Now, believe it or not, we only have about 4.5 minutes
Oh.
left. I know these go by very,
Yeah.
very quickly, very quickly. So, what is your greatest takeaway, you think, from these experiences you've had in the last 5 years? What's your
Mm,
win?
I think my biggest takeaway from it all, and I think my biggest something that actually you said at a joy gathering just like last month, I think it was,
Mhm.
really went in my head. And I was like, oh, I wish I heard that before. And it was
Yeah.
something along the lines of your story isn't over or your story isn't finished being written or something like that. And I just thought,
Mhm.
oh, that is something like I will take with me forever.
Yeah.
And I hope anyone that's experienced anything like that or is experiencing any kind of loss like that can see that this isn't the end of their story. Their story is not finished yet.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. That's so great. And it doesn't define you. Your
Mhm.
story doesn't define you.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. I really love that. Well, I'm so grateful that you said yes to this interview because I think it's really important for anybody who's interested in the nesting place. We are accepting uh, people into the group still, and it runs on the second Tuesday of each month. And you can go onto our website at ujoyc.ca and you can sign up for that if you have experienced some loss. Please, child loss. This is for mothers and even husbands, I suppose. We haven't had men in the group, but for anyone who feels the loss of a pregnancy or the early loss of a child through SIDS or something like that, or stillbirth. Those are all included in our conversation. So please feel free to check us out and come and join us. We love that. The Joy Show runs every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So do join. Sometimes it's a teaching segment and sometimes it's an interview segment. So today was an interview. Tessa, thank you so much for being here. You're a remarkable guest, and your story is heartbreaking and hopeful. So I love that. You've covered off both, and I can see the joy in your face as you prepare for this baby. And I really wish you every good success with this. And I'm really grateful you're a part of our community. So bless you, thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. And
Thank
for
you.
everyone watching, thank you for watching. We look forward to having you back again soon. And every week we're here. We're here. So, and if you want to be a guest on the show, reach out. Reach out. RevBarbara@Rogers.com. You can come and be a guest as well. We just want to hear your story. There's just one you. So, yeah, look at this. You've got a story that you'd like to share. Send me an email, hello@barbarajean.ca, with a brief description of why you or someone you know would be a great guest on The Joy Show. Your story may be the next one featured. Anyway, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And by the way, the New Thought Media Network has programming all week long and a radio station, the whole works. And if you love what we're doing here, be sure to donate as well. This is a not-for-profit, so you can send in money and help this network stay on the air. So do come back again. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye for now.